Our next storyteller is Anita Watamanuk, and she says her last name in her story, thank goodness, because I learned how to say it then. Anita and I met through Alicia, who's at the back, and as we were leaving one of our fitness classes, Anita said to me, "Are you that storyteller person?" And I said, "Yes," which was really exciting. But I think I tried to play it cool. And Anita said, "I have a story to tell." So we wanted to meet for coffee, but that never happened. We have since become very good friends. Anita, well, I think Marnie coined it first. I don't know, Anita stole it, but we came up with this term, word vomit, to like get everything out for your story. And Anita's was 20 minutes long. And it was beautiful, but there's a time limit. And so she had to cut it down. And she did a really great job, which you are going to hear. So here is Anita Watamanuk and her story, Masterpiece.
What's your name, sweetheart? The Sobeys cashier is smiling and looking at my almost 3-year-old daughter. C.C. Potamuk, she responds confidently. Oh, her name is Reese, I translate for my toddler. As I go home from the grocery store with both of my little girls secure in their car seats, I can't help but replay the number of times I've stepped into the role of translator for my daughter. It's June 2008, less than 6 months after this incident. Chris and I are sitting with a speech and language pathologist who tells us that Reese has a severe phonological speech delay. We are reassured that we've caught this at a good time. Reese is not yet in JK. But as her mom, I just can't help but feel that I should have caught this sooner. It's September 2012. Reese is now 7 years old and in grade 2. Reese has some hesitation and is a little bit behind on some developmental milestones. This makes sense when speech linked with her speech delay. But Chris and I cannot shake our concerns about Reese. We are told grade 2 is a pivotal year. We've also noticed that Reese is missing out on some social things. Drew, who's in kindergarten, has been invited to 2 birthday parties this year. Reese has only ever been invited to 1. We've also noticed that Reese is having outbursts in the morning when getting ready for school. So we agree to add a psychological, educational assessment to the long list of tests that we have put Reese through. It's November 2012 when we meet with the psychologist who presents us with the diagnosis. Reese has autism. What? She must be wrong. My brain is literally spinning out of control. The psychologist begins to explain her diagnosis and uses our examples to back up her diagnosis. Each example begins to show up like a brushstroke in a painting. Emotional regulation, social interaction and communication, executive functioning. It makes sense. It makes sense why Reese wasn't invited to birthday parties. It makes sense why Reese has outbursts over things she really shouldn't. It makes sense why Reese presented with a speech delay. And then I realized while sitting there, the psychologist is not wrong. It all fits with Reese. The completed painting, the masterpiece, is right there in front of us. Chris and I leave the psychologist's office together. I'm able to make it to the car before I let my tears go. The rest of that school year, we just do our best to put one foot in front of the other. But there are so many twists and turns, and I have no idea how to navigate this road of autism. There's more answers than questions, and the wait lists are endless. I feel helpless. September 2014. We are all still doing our best, especially Reese. She goes to school every day. She does extra work at home all the time. And she goes to all the therapy that we can incorporate into our week. Listening to other parents talk about their children who are the same age as Reese is absolutely defeating. I want to run away from these conversations and hide. They have no idea what they take for granted. Things that are easy for their children are not easy for Reese. I catch myself daydreaming on the regular, daydreaming about driving to activities instead of therapy, daydreaming about Reese getting picked first in gym class instead of last, and daydreaming about Reese enjoying the company of a best friend. Things you really shouldn't daydream about. But we all know daydreaming is not productive and you're not getting anything done when you're daydreaming. So with that, I decide to channel all of my frustrated energy into finding an activity for Reese. So far, we have tried ballet, soccer, and ice skating. And we have walked away from every one of those activities after giving it our best shot. They just weren't working. So when Reese is stacked up against her peers, she's not the most athletic, she's not the most coordinated, but she is an absolute fish in the swimming pool. So with that, I come across information about a local swim team called the Aces. Reese passes the tryout, and I am flipping ecstatic, like over the moon. And then I'm like, okay, stop. Best to proceed with caution. Swim practice becomes part of our weekly routine. And all I can say is that the first thing that I notice is that everyone is welcome on this team. There's 2 kids with Down syndrome. There's a young girl who had an accident and has a brain injury. And there's several swimmers on the autism spectrum. No one is hiding their struggles. At the end of the season, we go to the year-end barbecue. It's like walking into a family reunion. Everyone's mingling and eating hot dogs and hamburgers. And then the coaches whistle and the whole place goes quiet. They're doing some awards. They call up the graduating swimmers. They call up the ones who qualified for regionals. And to my complete and utter surprise and delight, they call up Reese, our little fish, for the most improved swimmer in her age category. She walks up shyly to get her award, and she looks like she doesn't belong. She looks very awkward and little and like cute, but you know, there's these big swimmers up there with their muscles next to her, and she's like the smallest and the youngest, but one of them like crouches down, high fives her. I see this little smile form on her face. And it's so sweet. And I have my sunglasses on because it's really, really bright and sunny out. And I'm really glad because I'm holding back tears. Because this feels really good. It's so good to see Reese feeling included, and she can just be herself in this space. And for a moment, I don't feel helpless. September 2019. It's the first day of grade 9 for Reese. And first days, they are full of really big feelings. Reese is doing great and she's holding it together, but right after I take her first day of school picture, she loses it. Tears are flowing. I wrap her in a bear hug to avoid eye contact because it is impossible to not cry when she's crying. But we're practiced in these moments now, and I know what I need to do to get her reset. High school is the most grueling, make you want to vomit roller coaster ride that we are on together. Most mornings before Reese goes to school, I give her a pep talk, followed by a hug and a kiss, and then I usually stand at the window and watch her walk down the street. And I think to myself, if I were her, would I go to school or would I hide under my bed and refuse to come out? She chooses to get up with her alarm clock. She chooses to go about her day. She chooses to keep trying and to keep going. No matter how frustrated, no matter how overwhelmed she must be, she chooses to keep going. June 2023. Commencement. We are part of the major milestone of high school graduation. Our name is towards the end of the alphabet, so we have watched a long parade of people cross the stage and receive their diploma. But we're getting closer to the letter W, and I'm scanning my program. And then suddenly, I can see Reese. And I start evaluating things from her angle. The stage is huge. The lights are bright, and there's seats for 2,000 people. And I'm sitting in the audience, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling really nauseous. But then I see her, and she's smiling. And she is standing so tall despite her tiny 5'1" frame. She's next. They call her name. Reese Watamanuk. She is still smiling. She walks across the stage with purpose and with confidence to accept her diploma and shake the hand of the vice principal. I'm in awe. And it's at that moment I see all of her. I see the girl who holds her head high. I see the girl who bravely faces the world with a smile. I see the girl who always gives her personal best. I see the girl who chose not to hide. She showed up. She showed up, and she owned every brushstroke on her painting, her masterpiece. The next graduate's name is called out. As Reese crosses the stage and exits, I blink and I let go of a few tears that I've been holding back. I hold my head high too, and I smile. I did my best. I showed up too. And I know that beyond this stage and beyond this night, whatever happens, that we will figure it out. And without a doubt, she will be okay. Thank you.